Tell him we going for Canelo next.
Yes.
Let's
go. Canelo, come on.
You heard it from him.
We are ready.
Terrence Crawford has reiterated his desire for a bout at 168 following Canelo's recent victory over Edgar Berlanga. Canelo may not be overly excited about this fight, though, as he recently stated in an interview with Cigar Talk that his top priority at this stage of his career is to plan fights that will not only have a big influence on his legacy but also turn out to be the most lucrative. This includes the possible rematch between him and Dimitri Bivol, which he mentioned in relation to Crawford. Canelo said that despite the 36-year-old fighter's remarkable skills, he is still to many weight classes below him. This is an important consideration, particularly in a combat sport like boxing, where one's physical power and bulk are key to the outcome.
You know, everything in my career, every fight make my legacy different and better, no? Terrence Crawford is a great fighter, he's a good fighter, but you know, like I say, he's a weight classes for a reason.
Now, this may not be the first time Canelo has brought up the topic of Bud and him being in such different weight classes. A few days ago, before his fight with Berlanga, Canelo made some highly contentious remarks about how it would be easy money for him if this fight ever happened.
Why not? Why not? I think Crawford, don't get me wrong, he's a great fighter. But for me, in my weight class, it's an easy fight. For me, easy money. So if the money is right, I'm in. Because, you know, I don't like to fight guys like Crawford because he move a lot and the fight is not that great. I saw Crawford the last fight and he don't move that much now. So yeah, if the money is right.
Making his position clear, Terrence was the better boxer of the two, but it was clear that he suffered in his last bout against Israel Madrimov at 154. So Canelo said that he would not fare well if he made a major jump to 168 to take on the best fighter in that weight class. In addition, Canelo emphasized that Terrence is a slow fighter who avoids moving much, which is not a quality that Canelo values in opponents. This is true even if there is no weight differential.
They are a weight class for a reason, and you need to ask him. It's different. I know in his mind he think he can do whatever he wants because he's very talented fighter. He's a very good fighter. I like how he fight, but that's why there are weight classes. And he knows now.
He knows now. You think he felt that?
Yeah.
However, Terrence Crawford has been eyeing this possibility for a while now, disproving Canelo's reasoning for turning down this fight. And he appears to be thrilled about the thought of this battle despite Canelo's hesitancy in this subject. Terrence claimed that Canelo's claims are nothing more than ridiculous justifications because, throughout his career, he has faced opponents much smaller than himself, such as Floyd Mayweather, Amir Khan, and Jermall Charlo, all of whom were superior fighters in their own right but much weaker and smaller than him. Terrence further emphasized that Canelo is being a coward by turning down the offer because he is afraid of losing his reputation in the event of a defeat, despite the fact that a bout between him and Canelo will be far more lucrative than all of these fights put together.
Canelo been making his own catch weight for years. You know, Canelo fought a smaller Mayweather. Canelo fought a smaller not Amir Khan, but Amir Khan.
Yeah, he did at 155.
Amir Khan. You know, he fought Jermall Charlo, and I'm pretty sure he didn't make as much money with all those guys except Mayweather, even Berlanga right now, that he will with me. But yet and still, you know, he have all these excuses why he don't want to take a fight with me.
Terrence once again expressed his desire for a fight between himself and Canelo, calling it the best fight in contemporary boxing during his most recent appearance at the UFC event at the Sphere, which was held the same night as the Canelo vs. Berlanga bout.
Canelo Crawford, the biggest fight in boxing. Wanna get ready for the main event, y'all. But we stay ready, though. We stay ready. That way we don't gotta get ready.
His Excellency Turki Alalshikh, one of the primary organizers of this UFC event, expressed the same opinion as Terrence and urged Canelo to accept the offer, saying that even for a seasoned fighter like Canelo, Such a chance is too excellent to pass up.
Here at the spin, feel me? He going next.
We want the Nanches.
Tell him we going for Canelo next.
Yes. Let's
him.
go. Canelo, come on.
You heard it from him?
We are ready.
Oh, yeah.
Turki may have overlooked the fact that Canelo rejected this offer primarily because His Excellency refused to negotiate terms with Canelo's team in accordance with his demands of $150 million. Many at the time thought this was absurd, including Turki, which went on the offensive on social media, dismissing Canelo as a serious fighter despite his insistence on his demands in numerous interviews. Canelo has expressed dissatisfaction with the tactics used by His Excellency, and if they ever discussed a possible Crawford fight, it would be based on his business philosophy rather than Turki's because they are more concerned with their profits than the fighters they are facing.
I don't like the way he talk, and I'm not in this position because of any. I'm in this position. If he wants to work with me, it's in my way, not in their way.
This attitude seems to have remained unchanged, as Canelo refused to entertain any business offers from Turki or his team during his recent post-fight press conference following his unanimous decision victory over Berlanga. This likely indicates that he is still not on good terms with the Saudi powerhouse, given the constant criticism Turki has made up to this point.
Tonight, Terrence Crawford was Turki Alalshikh at the other event across town. Put out an open challenge to you on the internet with Turki Alalshikh calling you out. What's your response to Terrence Crawford's call out tonight?
No comments.
Even though neither side has officially considered the fight yet, the boxing community seems excited about it. Numerous prominent experts and analysts are expressing their thoughts on the potential results of the fight after Canelo's incredible performance against Berlanga. Reputable journalist and expert Jim Lampley responded to some remarks regarding how Canelo's advanced age may eventually be impeding his ability to fight. Jim claims that while this may be the true for many fighters who are older, Canelo has once again shown that he can use his flawless boxing IQ and experience to gain the upper hand against any opponent.
Didn't have enough craft to take advantage if, in fact, there was any slippage there. So, no, I'm not going to say that. I think Canelo will be close to the end whenever he decides he's close to the end. As long as he's motivated, Chepo and Eddie are motivated, their lives all stay in order, he lives the way he lives.
Jim was a little enthusiastic about the prospect of a battle with Crawford, pointing out that Terrence is far from the size needed to face Canelo Alvarez at 168 based on the fighters' most recent performances in their respective bouts. He also mentioned that although Canelo doesn't seem to be slowing down as he gets older, Crawford might not be, given that he seemed weak and lethargic in his most recent bout with Mad.
I am more than ever concerned that he's not big enough, and not big enough to be able to move around the ring and muscle Canelo in the way that he would have to ward off those really vicious inside power shots. I might have thought a few months ago that I would give Crawford a logical chance to win the fight. He is the most skilled pound-for-pound fighter in the world, but I just don't think he's big enough and strong enough to take on Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds. And so far, Crawford is 154-pound fighter who's only been to 154 pounds once.
Although Jim appears to prefer Canelo in this fight based on the match's potential for economic success, he still believes that it is not a good idea for a fighter like Crawford because his chances of winning are extremely low.
To favor Canelo to win the fight, even though there's certainly not the kind of skill gap that we saw here tonight. Crawford is an amazingly skillful fighter. Maybe that could make up a lot more of the gap, but I would still have to favor Canelo to win the fight, and I'm not sure I would advise Terrence to do it.
Like Jim, famed promoter Eddie Hearn believes that Terrence's weight disparity may ultimately be his weakness in this fight since, regardless of the tactics he does in the ring, Canelo will be able to counter them due to his size advantage, giving Terrence advice in the event that this fight is decided with reference to a fighter like Canelo. Eddie offered his thoughts on the significance of mobility and strong defense, stating that Terrence should focus on these areas if he hopes to have a shot at victory.
35, 35, 40, 47, 54. Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like he's a genius. He's a generational great. So maybe he can find a way to do it. But I feel he'd be hugely outsized against Canelo Alvarez. Yeah. But you have to use your movement. if you're Terrence Crawford in that fight. The last thing you want to do is stand and trade. He'd be moving a lot in that fight, trust me. I'm not saying he'd be running, but he would be moving a lot. Of course, that's the way to beat it.
Eddie also brought up another crucial point. Canelo's top priority at this point in his career is to leave a legacy by defeating the greatest of the best. Because of this, he sees no point in fighting because, even if he prevails, no one will give him credit for it. The only thing that could persuade Canelo to accept this offer would be the money.
Crawford on Saturday and was afraid of fighting him at 68. I think for Canelo, it's more about the credibility he gets through victory. I think he's a little bit concerned, having spoken to him in the past, that if he beats a guy that's coming up from 147 to 168, is he really going to get the respect for that? So we'll see. I mean, money talks. You know, if it's the right deal, he'll always take the fight.
Professional fighter and former world champion into weight classes Danny Garcia agreed with Eddie's points that, in the end, a fighter's primary concern is the money they could make from a particular fight. Since a fight like this is frequently difficult to make, they typically accept such an offer. Danny, however, believes that even though a very good deal may appear alluring, Terrence may find the battle too much this time. Terrence seems to be implying that Canelo is a formidable foe regardless of experience or exceptional skill.
At the end of the day, they're two great pound-for-pound fighters, and if they feel like, it makes sense and they want to fight each other, stylistically, it's a great fight. But, Canelo, he's a big dude. So I think it'd be hard for anyone to beat him at 168. But, it's definitely a big money fight, and that's why we're all in boxing, to make the biggest fights and try to be great.
Danny highlighted another noteworthy element that may have contributed to Canelo's success in his fights. Despite the fact that the majority of the fighters he chooses to fight are exceptional, have competed in a number of significant fights in their careers, they typically perform poorly when they face the Mexican fighter in the ring due to the pressure Canelo puts on them. This pressure comes from both his domineering personality and the massive amount of public support and fans that attend his fights, which, according to Danny, is exactly what happened in his fight with Berlanga.
Canelo started his career at 147. Then went up to 154 for a long time. Even he's the smaller guy in his weight classes when he fights. But a lot of people don't lose to Canelo, they lose to the event. Because when you fight Canelo, the stage is set for him. Like when I went, I saw J Balvin, I saw fireworks, So you fight him, it's like you fighting in the Super Bowl.
The idea of this possible fight does not seem to impress Juan Manuel Marquez, a legendary fighter and former three-weight world champion, who claims that Terrence cannot outmaneuver Canelo at 68 and that the weight difference is too great to take seriously. Juan said, "I don't think it's good for Crawford, but it would be a good fight. I personally don't enjoy seeing fights. I think it's not good for Terrence Crawford to look for a fight with Canelo because Canelo is bigger than him 3 divisions right now too. As Crawford fought at 154, so did divisions," he continued. However, I think Canelo's experience and power of the weight are an advantage because he has advanced to different weight classes. Remembering his days as a professional fighter, Juan said that in a sport like boxing, a fighter excels in his own weight class, but when he tries to beat it quick and go up much beyond his scope, he usually loses the glamour that he previously had. "I believe Crawford is a skilled fighter," Juan stated, comparing this fight to the one between Canelo and Amir Khan back in 2017, which was Air's first fight at 155 pounds after moving up to weight classes, suggests that even though you are the best in your division, you might lose if you fight in a different division because you lose your power if you move up to a different division. Juan emphasized that Canelo is an extremely skilled fighter because, despite Amir's attempts to corner him in the earlier rounds with deft jabs and skillful footwork, he was defeated by a single punch.
Did you saw the fight Canelo-American?
Yeah.
What happened in that fight?
Amir was winning the early.
He used his speed, you move on the ring,
and then
Canelo knocked him out with one punch.
Yeah.
With one punch.
Amir.
Yes, I know. You're looking for the chick for.
But they said like he doesn't have a good chin. Terrence has a good chin.
Yeah, but I don't know what's and Terrence Crawford need to make the difference. I don't know why. I don't know. He need to use speed, move on the ring. He need to use everything on the ring.
It is clear from all of these claims and assessments that Canelo is the favorite in this bout, but some people still seem to believe that Crawford is being undervalued in this instance and that he could surprise everyone. One member of this minority, Clarissa Shields, believes that Terrence is currently the best fighter in terms of strength, surpassing Canelo, and that the qualities he has developed over the years make him a dangerous foe for anybody. Regarding the weight classes and their significance in boxing, Clarissa feels that they don't really matter for a fighter like Crawford since, in the end, he is the superior boxer, giving him a decent chance to face a stronger and bigger Canelo.
Crawford. Team Crawford for me.
Rock out with Crawford. It's going to be a good one.
It's going to be a good one, but Hey, Canelo, he's number 2 pound number 1 is Crawford.
Yeah.
And that's skill wise.
When Canelo's talking, they make weight classes for a reason.
Oh, that's beautiful. I'm all the way at heavyweight. That's because I got the skills, the power, and everything to pay the bills. And Terrence Crawford is swing. He got the skills to pay the bills, the knockout power. He's very smart in there. And man, he's sturdy. Now, the weight class can matter a little bit, but boxing matters.
Believing Bud to be the superior boxer is well according to Roy Jones Jr. The reality may differ slightly from the widely held belief that Canelo will win easily because his size and strength are currently his sole advantages versus Terrence. Even a strong, large fighter usually can't beat a great boxer like Crawford. Roy continued.
Canelo can beat Bud. A tough fight to call. I think his size may be his best going factor, but if he goes out and boxes Bud, he's not going to beat Bud boxing. He's not. So if Bud can take his punch, he's not going to box Bud. So it's like, it'll be, what would determine the fight would be who wants it most and who has their fight plan. Because to me, I don't care what they say, if Bud can get Canelo to box him, Bud will outbox him.
What are your final thoughts on Canelo's most recent performance? Do you believe that if he ever chooses to fight Terrence Crawford, it will be sufficient? Or do you believe that he is overconfident in his skills? Or do you believe that this might be the battle that ultimately proves to be Terrence's reckoning? Bud Crawford, please leave a comment below with your ideas. And if you liked the video, please like and subscribe to our channel.